Stay persistent until you burn out and hate yourself.
Nebi Goyish Jew.
So do it. Like the answer is do it. Welcome back to
Buckle up, baby.
episode 33.
The resolution.
Well,
We haven't gotten any feedback on it because we just put it out.
yeah, on our last
On the
episode.
last one, yeah.
The last episode got real.
Yeah.
The most awkward conversation we've ever had. Probably.
I'm trying to think. Maybe.
That's not saying much. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't even remotely bad.
Mhm.
It was quite good.
I think we had a more awkward one. I don't want to bring it up now, though. That's due with a girl in high school.
I know it was, but that was 3 seconds long. We
and
went,
I hardly knew you.
Michael has this claim that we met at age 30. We've known each other since we were 14 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, we became friends by group.
Well, no, I met you first at Eitan Stavsky's bar mitzvah. I'm not even sure if you remember that.
I do, at the Berkeley Carteret.
At the Berkeley Card. Do you remember the song they sang?
Yes. Welcome, dear family, welcome, dear friends, welcome to the Berkeley Carteret. Oh my God, if he watches this
I sing
episode.
that all the time.
Honestly, every couple of months, I'll be walking up the stairs. Welcome, dear family. Well, you were like, I don't know if you remember the bar mitzvah. I literally remember the theme song.
Uncle Jonathan and the Berkeley Carteret.
Okay, I don't remember his uncle's names, but I will say it was for those who don't know, in modern Orthodox bar mitzvah circles, back in the 90s, the parents and the siblings, they do a song for the kid, and it's some kind of spoof. So this was Hava Nagila, based on the hotel name.
I don't think that was a thing that most families did, was it?
Are you kidding me? All the kids' parties? Everybody, yeah, it's Rebecca's bar mitzvah party. Yeah, everybody, it's Becky's bar mitzvah. All right, bat mitzvah. You don't remember any of that
I don't
at
remember
kids'
that.
parties? Oh, you weren't.
I just remember the Stavskys.
You weren't at the cool ones.
I guess not.
But
This wasn't Eitan's was an interesting one, I remember. Because I remember thinking, why did he invite me? Because I hardly knew him. And then I started getting the feeling like he didn't have as many close friends
right, well,
in his school.
uh,
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
I still love Eitan. I never ever talked to him, but
yeah, I don't think I
But that was a
remember.
weird bar
Did we
mitzvah.
meet? You
no,
remember meeting?
I remember you telling dirty jokes. I remember you wore a yarmulke like on your forehead, basically, with like a Nike thing. And I remember you telling dirty jokes, and I remember I was like, "There's no one like this in my school." It's like this guy is like, because you didn't know anyone outside of your school at that point.
Nope.
Eitan went to a different school than me,
Yeah.
and with your school, and yeah, I just remember thinking like, who is this fella?
Honestly, in all the 2 years we've known each other, just kidding, decades, you've
I
never
don't
told
think I've
me.
ever brought it up.
Never
I
told
didn't
me
think
that.
you remembered.
I remember the bar mitzvah. I don't remember you specifically, but I remember that Nike kippah for sure, right up in the forehead. That's what we were all doing. Maybe not you.
Yeah.
We all wore it,
we
up-
did. I did
up
also.
to the hairline.
Yeah. You couldn't see it from the back, basically.
You're like, there's no one like this. There's no animals in my school. Oh my God, I was the dirty word dealer growing up. I knew all of it. People used to come to me for like sleepover consultation. Oh man, I gotta stay over your house, man. I don't know any of the words.
Yeah. I didn't, and we didn't have my friends didn't have like older brothers. I guess for some reason we were like the oldest boys for whatever reason.
Really?
Like you had an old would you have gotten any of that without your brother?
Maybe not, but I also had a strange parenting thing where I was told stuff way before I should have. Even my brother was older, but he wasn't. He's 2 years older. He's not like 10 years older. He shouldn't have known the stuff he was relaying to me. But people used to come for sleepovers at my house, like back in elementary school, and they'd wake up the next day just wrecked.
We didn't have that guy. So I was in 8th grade. I was like,
were you enjoying it? Or were you just like freaked out?
I think it was like, I mean, I'm not that different than I was then in that way. I think I was more like
struck.
I was observing it, and struck, and being like, trying to understand how that happened.
This is killing.
And also feeling, I was also like, please don't talk to me because I can't contribute to this conversation.
Because you knew nothing.
Because I knew nothing.
I must have. I don't know what I was saying.
I remember there's a joke about like shampoo and cum, and I definitely didn't get it. It was something like you're like Pert Plus, and it was like a joke about cum, and I didn't know the first thing.
Head
about
and
that.
shoulders.
Yeah, no, that might have been it.
No.
That might have been it.
No, I don't.
That might have been it. Yeah, maybe I just made that joke up in my head.
Maybe I just made that up now. Maybe my 13-year-old self is screaming the punchline to me.
It was a Head and Shoulders joke, and I didn't know what Head was.
Right. It must have been like, what's such and such's favorite shampoo?
Yeah.
I bet you it's like, maybe there was some scandal going on, like some sex scandal in the news. What's Monica Lewinsky's favorite shampoo? Head and Shoulders. I probably didn't know what it meant either. I just heard the joke and was recycling it.
Yeah.
No, I knew. But at the same time, maybe that was the joke. Maybe my inner...
I think it was past Monica Lewinsky. I think that would have been old.
8th grade?
Yeah.
Clinton was president.
I remember being with my family in D.C. when he had that famous news conference and walking into the lobby of the hotel and seeing the news conference playing. Yeah. And I wasn't with my family in D.C. that old, I don't think.
Now we're on to politics.
What do you think of Clinton?
Anyway, I don't remember. I definitely remember having a filthy mouth. Still do a little bit. But
would it be fun to have a podcast where we record it with a VHS and we just talk about 90s politics as if we're in 1994 and like get to role play having the right takes? Being like, I think Clinton's going to be fine. I really do.
That is a clever niche. That you're talking as if it's real time 94.
Yeah, but having either one person has the worst takes and one person has the perfect take.
Right.
I don't know if we would watch it, but it might be fun to do.
I think it's a funny, like, we could do it as a series. Like, let's choose 1988 right now.
Yeah.
We'll get everything that was going on, but in it, like, with social media language.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway.
So yes, I guess we met when we were 13.
But that was an awkward conversation last week. That's where we started.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just saying we did have one in high school. We were friends then too. We were just in the same group of friends. Then I think post high school we started hanging out one-on-one. Okay?
Yeah.
We started playing basketball at the JC because we were the only ones without jobs.
Yeah, we had the summer after 9th grade of college. What do you call that? Freshman year?
9th grade of college.
In 9th grade of college, we both were, no one told us you had to like get yourself an internship or a job. So we just came home from college and didn't have anything to do for the summer.
Did your parents were they not on you?
No, we talked about last week, or 2 weeks ago, not having a mentor.
Yeah.
No, my parents, there was no like, hey, it's March, you should think about what your summer plans are. Nothing.
You were kind of just autonomous beings under one roof? Not
Yeah, I mean, part of that's me. Like, if my parents tell me to do something, it's like the opposite of what I'm going to do. So it's not necessarily all on them, but generally my siblings and I didn't get a ton of guidance.
Right. My parents were totally hands off, and it would be like, did you get that license yet? Were you supposed to get a license?
Right.
I don't know. When was that supposed to be? Yeah. I'm like, I certainly don't know these things. I'm 16.
No,
I would learn from my friends, and I'd be in the car with a friend, and his mom would be like, Ami, when are you getting your learner's permit? I got to ask. Soon.
Yeah, my parents would be like, are you practicing your driving? And I'm like, with who?
Yes, the same style.
What do you mean am I practicing driving?
They were doing their own thing and expected you to do yours and figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing, though. That's the question.
Right.
I'm not sure what else they were doing.
But I was going to say, we were talking about... you were saying that you didn't have mentorships and you didn't. What were that? We found ourselves in the summer.
Yeah,
we found ourselves in a summer, being like, "Hey, what are you up to? Are you working? Did you get a job like all these other people, like summer job?" Yeah. And I'm like, "No." And like at that point, it's way too late.
Yeah.
We were always on the same page of like, shit.
A friend of mine told me to like email her aunt about an internship at this company. So I did, and like. My entire plan was email this person's aunt and wait to hear back. And like I didn't hear back till like August, obviously. And I blamed my whole summer on this person's aunt for not responding to me. Like that was my that was my strategy. So we were just like we were hanging out and it was miserable. It wasn't fun.
I had a good time.
Did you? I don't remember having a good time that summer.
I'm trying to remember because there were several summers.
Yeah, it wasn't the only one.
Of me not having my shit together. But one of them, I was like, Michael, we had nothing to do. And I think it was the in-between college summers. And one of them, I was sleeping every day till 5 p.m. and then just staying up all night. And I got into this groove where I'd like, I thought, and like it wasn't even weird at that point. Yeah. I was like, it's 5 p.m. I just woke up. To think about it now, to wake up at 5?
I remember coming over to your house at like 10 a.m. and you hadn't gone to sleep yet. You were watching a movie. You were finishing a movie at 10 a.m.
Was it The Notebook? I don't remember. But I also remember like playing video games on a computer, like just killing time, like really, really low, like bottom of the barrel.
It was killing time is what it was.
And then we were like, let's play basketball. So we like played basketball at the JCC. Basketball. We ran on the treadmills.
Can you imagine if like we had cameras at like, if we used that summer to just fuck around?
Yeah, but there was no means to get. I mean, there was YouTube if you knew it, if you were smart.
Isn't it wild to think about? A 20-year-old could not imagine that. Like there was no way to make a thing.
No.
I mean, there was, but you had to be really ambitious.
It's a good point because no, like I remember, first of all, we would work out at the Jewish Community Center in Tenafly. Not work out regularly.
We'd go and walk on the treadmills.
We'd walk on the treadmills. I remember I was watching Bill O'Reilly while I ran, and you were like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? What is this? Why are you even doing? What do you get out of this?" You were like getting angry. That's a funny memory. But the funny thing is, I wonder, in terms of the generation, like 20-year-olds now have not only no excuse to be bored, but like can make careers in a summer or start something legit. And I remember in high school having this thought where I'd be hanging out with friends and we'd be having Jackass was huge, and it's like friends and groups of friends being rowdy and crazy was like very popular to watch. And I was like, man, we're so funny, our group of guys. We would sometimes film ourselves with like a crappy webcam or something like really grainy, but man, we'd make the funniest show. Everyone thought they were the funniest. I'm like, we would make the funniest things if we could, but there were no tools. I didn't have a smartphone. It was a flip phone.
And also you would do it and you would just do the same thing Jackass said. You'd get into a shopping cart and push your friend.
Yeah, or just but we did goofy things around school and things like that. We did certainly that.
You guys were very funny. You, Yoni, and Yoni were very funny.
Yona. You said Yoni.
It's Yona this whole time. He doesn't
shout out. Yeah,
no,
so
you guys were you guys could have probably done some cool stuff.
So I would look at us and be like, and we would do these. We'd have these random adventures at night. We'd be skating around Jersey, around Teaneck, and rollerblades.
You rollerbladed a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I just mean like I had this imagination watching us. Like, if only we could like make our own show. But to say that now is so do it. Like the answer is do it. You can.
Right.
And I remember as social media was rolling out and I would look at it, I'd be like, why am I not making stuff here? Like my teenage self was screaming at me, hey, it's all here now. And just because you're not in high school doesn't mean you shouldn't be trying to make stuff with all these tools.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, that big past voice screaming at me just to bring it full circle.
Yeah.
You know? That summer, if this was now, we could have started the podcast at age 20.
I wonder, and I just had this, so I put the 20s on that note, I put the 20s energy reel out on TikTok, and I got a bunch of feedback actually. People were not happy about it. They didn't like it.
Why?
Most of the feedback I got was
in the comments?
Oh no, some in the comments, but a friend of mine called me and was like, your 20s energy. He's like, first of all, I don't agree that you run out of energy after you're 20. In your 20s, I think in your 30s you still have it. And also in your 20s, you're just dumb. That's what that passion is. In your 30s, what you can do is the same thing, but be smart about it.
I agree with him.
So I wonder, compared, if we had made content as kids, we probably would have been lazy and bad at it, possibly. Maybe doing it in our 30s is even better. Because, like, at least you can be good at it.
Sure. I hear you. I don't know. And also, I don't think the 20s of today is what we were.
Yeah, that's true.
They're much more. Right. I mean, you can knock them for being entitled and all the bad raps that, like, Gen Z gets.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty wild how resourceful, savvy, and because I think what happened was our generation's lack of fulfillment or kvetchiness was met with get over it and get real. Yes. You don't have to indulge that. And we did. We're just like, okay, so we'll just go to this and that, and we let that all go. So we feel like we want to haze the next generation and say, I had to just like stop complaining. And I feel like what's happening with them is they complain and don't want to do these, like, work these slave jobs and do these things, and then they don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's they overall. I'm being general, but what I see is it's like, no, actually It's like Gary Vee actually talks about this a lot. They do hustle like crazy. They are motivated. They just are motivated to do the things they want to do. And now these platforms and things are available to say, I'm going to start a Twitch channel, make $5K a month playing video games. And I take it seriously.
And they have fewer options than we had. Like
Fewer?
Fewer. I mean, I guess like
In what sense?
I imagine going into law and finance and medicine is even harder than it was 10, 15 years ago.
I guess
there's probably fewer positions.
Right.
I guess there's more like digital marketing positions, but yeah, I don't know.
And on the flip side, the other stuff is the creator economy world is starting to boom.
Right. I was listening to Colin and Samir on my First Million podcast, and they were saying it was pretty inspiring. They're like, if you treat YouTube like a 9-to-5 job and you study it for a month and you put videos out and optimize, you'll make money. He's like, if you do it for 2 years, you'll make money doing it. So if you're in college and just doing it like, pretty seriously, like it's a real career.
They are awesome, Colin and Samir. I'm a big fan of what they're doing and how they're covering this.
They had a great they did a great exercise with the host where they read through thumbnail titles and they were like, guess how many views this has. So the first one was like, it was in the Airbnb category. They're like
Airbnb, what do you mean in the category?
It was like the audience was like how to make money through Airbnb.
Okay,
that was the
that kind of
YouTube
content
scene, yeah. And so like the first one was like he's like how I went from $0 to $100 million on Airbnb. He's like and so Colin Samir got it like exactly right. Like,
how many views did that have? Like
that had like 600.
600.
Yeah, and then
I would think that has a lot.
Yeah, and then he's like, how I made my first dollar on Airbnb. Like, how much do you think that is? And they're like 19,000, and like Colin Samir got it. Like they're like 250,000, and they got it.
Okay, how the bigger numbers correlated to what in the title?
I don't. That's the part I don't know yet. They it was like
that is a great little hack.
It was
what a cool game.
I was like, if you do that for a year, you're gonna have a sense for like I don't know how to title our YouTube thumbnails. Like
they seem pretty good to me,
but they don't do well. Like there's some I'm doing something wrong about it. Like I think the one that did the best was
Harry Mack.
how much money I made in my first month renting my Airbnb.
That sounds pretty clunky.
I know, but I don't know why, but it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thing. Mr. Beast has talked about how he lived and breathed studying YouTube.
Right.
And learning it like any skill and any endeavor, any craft. Like he spent like that year doing nothing but YouTube. Like start to finish on Skype with other YouTubers, researching and pulling the lid off.
Yeah.
From like morning till night, and then he would sleep and wake up and do it again. So that's going to put you in a good position.
You got to listen to this interview. They talk basically about how it took them. They're like it takes like 10 years to get really good at this stuff. They've been doing it for a long time.
What do you mean?
Like they had a whole like journey before.
How old are they? They seem like they're in their 20s.
No, I don't think. I think I'd say 30s at least.
Okay.
No, they had a whole company, a lacrosse media company on YouTube that got bought. And then they like had, well, I mean, like I said earlier today on that call that we had of like, through that whole thing, they met people at Samsung and all these brands. And then they realized, oh, here's what Samsung wants. They want like a talk show. So like, why don't we make a talk show and then get money from Samsung? Like, so they like had all these relationships and then they started.
That's fascinating.
But it was a journey. It was a journey.
I think I've seen videos of they're talking about their backstory. They're very good at what they do right now. I think it's like they're really one of the best at covering, and one of the only ones covering the creator economy in the way that they do.
Right. They also said something nice where they're like, this is where we are and we're not going anywhere. Like, we cover the creator economy, and like whether that's popular or unpopular, we're here to stay. And that enables us, a lot of people respect us for that, and it enables us to make a lot of relationships when like the times aren't as great.
There's also something about the way that Samir talks. It's just very clear, and I really enjoy it. It's just very calming, very explanatory, very educational. And what's going on here with Buckle Up, we're going to tell you how Buckle Up made their first 50 followers in just 7 months.
He is an Apple product.
I
want to like smell him. He's just like, doesn't he like
yes.
When God made Samir, he made him with all new parts. Nothing used. That
is the highest compliment if I could ever imagine one. When God made Samir, all new parts. We're going to tell you how God made Samir in this video.
Box.
On this subject, because I actually did want to get here as something I wanted to talk about in advance, but hard work.
Hard work or not hard work? What do you think?
I want to say that we constantly are drilled home this idea. I drill it home myself that it takes the thing that separates success from not success is the hard work. You have to be willing to put in the hard work, right? And I haven't thought this through fully, so it's going to come out clumsy. But the idea is I buy into that completely. And then discovering what the work is a whole other process, but it just takes that painful, step-by-step process of figuring out what it is, but showing up every day, treating YouTube like a 9-to-5 kind of thing. The problem is, if you want to be on the right side of this, I think YouTube is not a 9-to-5. It's a 9 to 9 to 9 to 9. It doesn't end, or maybe it should, but finding where to pull back, where to relax has been something I've been struggling with recently, where I have caught myself saying, I looked down at my phone the day my first TikTok started popping off, my first sort of viral moment from a piece of content, and I haven't looked up since. That's what I told myself. And I had like a moment where I was like a little wake up call, like, man, I feel like I haven't looked up from this phone in 2 years.
So it begs the question, I'm being serious now. Does TikTok work for you, or do you work for TikTok?
TikTok work for TikTok.
No, like the whole gospel is like, you're taking advantage of these platforms.
Yes.
But are the platforms taking advantage of you?
It's certainly both.
Yeah.
It's not like I am not addicted to social media. You said when you started getting back into Twitter, they are designed to be so addicting. I'm not impervious to that. I'm totally, full disclosure, I feel fully addicted. But
you have to separate it. You're a consumer and you're a creator.
Yes, but
as a creator though, it seems like you're also addicted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Both consumer addicted, but then also obsessed with checking, seeing how things are doing, the dopamine hit of things, and it's slowly killing me a little bit. But at the same time, the second I get this inclination to maybe slow it down, I say, well, no, that violates the hard work. That violates the whole Gary Vee message. I did this for 15 years, day and night, in order to build, not to get into it. But I'm just saying, maybe that's part of the hard work of working through that and not pulling back, but figuring out how to be sane while maintaining a certain frequency. Yeah. And that's really hard, because every time I've tied this idea of slowing down and balance with weakness or with holding back, and it's hard.
It's hard for me to hear necessarily that it's hard work objectively, because the reason you have to post so frequently is because is a decision that the people at TikTok have made. Like, to say that the objective amount of hard work you have to do is like post 3 times a day, it is not necessarily true. Hard work could mean posting once a day, but because TikTok has decided we want creators posting 5 times a day, that's what you think of as hard work. You know what I mean? Like, where it could just be insane. Like, that's not hard work. That's insanity. Just because TikTok requires us to do that doesn't mean that's hard work.
But we spend all this time pondering and strategizing. How do we grow this? How do we make this successful? And what if the answer is, you have to post 4 videos a day on TikTok to grow your audience? Yeah. That's tried and true, and that's what works. Yeah. And if you can do that, the challenge then is stay sane while doing it.
But I think,
as opposed to don't pour 4 times.
I think it's healthy to think in your own head of like this isn't me working hard. This is me like being a little bit of a slave to TikTok, and I'm making that decision right now. But just like not qualifying it as like an honorable thing almost.
I understand, but why? How do you know that you're correct in separating the two?
Well, I mean, how can you not think about whatever it takes to be successful on TikTok, whatever the algorithm decided? How can you think of that in any other way than...
It's not just TikTok, by the way, it's all social media.
But I mean, but these are decision that data analytics teams bring to the executives at TikTok and say, this is what we figured out. If like you need creators doing this and this and this, and you need them coming back this many, many times, and that's how you should design your algorithm, because that's what works. It's not some like, we think creators like are better off, like, you know what I mean? It's just,
I don't think TikTok has my well-being, is not considering my well-being. My point to you is, amorally, like this, objectively, this is what works on this. My point is, if you look at it this way, like, hey, there's a 10K marathon and you have to train for it. And if I told you, well, training this way makes me miserable, it's too much, then you say, okay, then you can't run the 10K. What it takes to run the 10K is this. If that's going to consume you, you're making a choice. Or you're going to go through the pain and build up enough of a resilience to get through it because you want to run the 10K. So now my 10K would be, you know, this building of an audience that eventually translates into a sustainable career, business, what have you. So I just have trouble assessing, like, you know what I'm saying? So when I say, my response to you is, you could say, oh, it's just you being a slave to TikTok, but it's really, well, no, I actually believe that in doing so, this will accomplish those goals because I've been doing that.
I guess the difference is that if that 10K company was also like had an interest in you being like addicted to running 10Ks, like TikTok is also, in addition, it also wants you checking it 100 times a day as a creator, which it's not quite the same as like accomplishing a goal of running 10K.
Yes,
you know, I guess that's what I'm saying. Just being aware of it.
Yeah, I think that the answers are not that you have to go to the opposite extreme and just maybe the opposite extreme of it is to just stop making the content, right? But maybe the answer is put your phone away at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Make the content from 9 to 5 and put it in a drawer and don't look at it for the rest of the night. Like, maybe I'm capable of doing that.
Right. So what do you do now? Do you have any like rules for yourself?
I have rules that I violate regularly. Like, you know, I put the phone when I'm in the house at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I catch myself, but if I'm around my kids and family and whatever, I try to not have my phone or headphone or any piece that related to it in my pocket.
Wow.
I go to the counter and I put it down, and then for a chunk of time, 5, 7 p.m., whatever, I try not to have it on me. When I do, because I don't do that, I'm not good about it, but I'm aware of that. Like, I prefer that, because if I'm doing bedtime and the phone's in my pocket, I feel it.
Yeah.
And like in between a pajama, checking, in between getting a kid dressed for bed, you're checking your phone. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Are you checking numbers on the posts you make?
Sometimes it's a little hit, like, how's the video doing has the 3 videos I posted today, how are they doing? I like when DMs come in on Instagram, seeing who's either liking stuff, you know, giving, it's a dopamine hit. Like, you're getting a hit or somebody reached out. I'm not like checking emails really, but I'm checking socials. So I put it away. And I put it far enough away that it's not, I don't keep it in my pocket. Like, I don't want to feel it. You know, and that's sort of the way you have to control the beast, tame the beast. I think, as opposed to saying, I can't, like, otherwise what happened was you do go till you burn out and you stop.
Yeah, did Casey Neistat stop?
I think he did at some point, but a lot of you, I'm not unique, like, at all. The story goes, these YouTubers have spoken about, like, I burnt out. Like, I got addicted to it and I burnt out. But also then it's like, I always find it funny when people who are successful in a specific lane can reflect back and say, yeah, I shouldn't have done all those things I went to it. I'm like, well, look at where you are now. Maybe you did have to. Or guys in their 50s and 60s say, yeah, I was too stressed in my 30s. I'm like, well, yeah, because we didn't know what you would end up like, but now you've ended up becoming a success. So how can you knock? I shouldn't have worried too much. That's what I would tell people in the 30s. Like, just relax. I'm like, well, if they did, they wouldn't become successful 60-year-olds, you know? So I always I'm suspect of that kind of advice. Anyway, hard work, working hard, the hustle, the grind.
No, but so staying aware of it is like, when you're going to check your video, like that little voice in your head of like thinking to yourself, like, this is what TikTok wants me to do right now, and like, I'm better off not hitting that app right now. You know, like, just having that awareness, I think, might help you. Yeah, like, fend it off a little bit.
I also don't think I should have the phone next to me when I go to sleep, or like beforehand.
Yeah, even though do you look at it up until you fall asleep?
Oh yeah, don't you?
I try not to. I try to give myself like half an hour, 20 minutes.
But do you ever lay down and just get a headphone in on one ear and just go for it?
Yeah, but then TikTok? I find myself I don't sleep so well.
Those little
I would never watch TikTok before I fall asleep. Ever.
I do.
Ever.
You should see these
say that now.
chiropractic videos. People getting adjusted at a chiropractor right before bed. Oh, that shit'll knock you out. I do. I just do. Sometimes it's just. Sometimes to me, it's just. It's like relaxing.
Do you sleep well?
Yeah. If I was having trouble, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I will be like, with the phone still up. I'm like, oh, this is shameful. If I can't fall back asleep, if I'm having trouble, I'll pick it up again and go another round. Full confessional. Like, I don't know. Like, it's so addicting.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem.
You know,
it
doesn't keep me up till wee hours. I'm going to sleep. I put it down.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's time.
I watch 20 minutes. I watch movies at 20 minutes a time. So before I go to sleep, I'll watch 20 minutes of a movie.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then give myself like 10, 20 minutes and try to go to sleep.
Well, I saw Ariana Huffington once talk about how like she was a burnt out workaholic, and one of the best things she did was not sleep with the phone near her at all. Like it's somewhere else. So she doesn't check it first thing when she wakes up. Yeah. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just feel like I'm always preaching the whole thing of like, gotta work hard, gotta this. But then I'm thinking, is there another side to that or a danger to that?
I think we talked about it real early, the content addiction thing, like the content creating addiction is definitely thing. Part of the reason I also blew up last week was I didn't have my phone on me for Shavuos for the holiday.
Yeah.
So I didn't touch my phone for 2 days, and I was happier. I was like, I like making the reels and I like putting them up and I love seeing the response. And compared to what you get on your TikTok channel, like it's like a small percentage of what you get. So like it's hard for me to imagine what it'd be like if I was getting 1 million likes.
Right.
We're getting like 60 likes or whatever it is, like 1,000 views, and I keep checking and I don't like it. So I'm also kind of like, do I even like doing this? Like, is this good?
Yeah.
You know? Which was my hypothesis when we first started. I was like, this is a silly way to live, but I'm in it now, and I think I might have been right.
Right.
I guess if there's
we also ain't been paid yet.
Right. If there's a payoff, then and it's
great. Better than most things.
Right.
We have to get paid.
Yeah.
So once you're paid and then you're doing it as a trade service kind of thing, there's like that helps. The other thing is with old school media back in the day. Up until very recently, entertainment had seasons, which means it took breaks, and then it came back for season 2 and season 3, and there's an off season, and then a vacation and a break, and you go back with fresh, creative eyes and ears and sensibilities. Rest, all those kinds of things was built into the system.
Yeah.
But now, for a YouTuber or a TikToker, Instagrammer, it's constant. You could take a weekend off, but you better get back on it lest you be scared the algorithm master thy punish you.
Right. I would think YouTube would build that into the algorithm of like we don't want our creators to burn out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes in those conversations.
Does anyone know? Has there ever been like a tell-all what's going on with these things by like a disgraced programmer?
Like Master Punjar, the head of Google?
Do Colin and Samir...
we have creators who are burnt out, Punjar. Tell them to come to me once. Go to the beach in Laguna and then return to Silicon Valley to be blessed by Punjar. Is his name Punjar?
I think it's Sundar.
Sundar?
Putai?
Punjar?
Punjar? Sundai? Does anyone know?
We're not speaking English anymore. Sundar Punjai?
The CEO of Google?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He must be he's like, I don't know if he's head of YouTube, but they own YouTube.
Well, yeah, he's the head of YouTube. Yeah. No, but Colin Samir, have they ever broken down like behind the scenes how these things work?
Good question. I also recently saw an interview with Jonathan Haidt. You know who that is, right?
No.
Oh, he's like a author, thinker, intellectual who writes a lot about the dangers of social media, particularly for kids and preteens and what it's doing. And he was talking to Lex Fridman, and he was saying how he's like, isn't there a way? Lex said, isn't there a way maybe we could get the best of both worlds and find the joy in social media? No. Unsafe at any speed. Unsafe at any speed. Instagram, the data is out. The research is out. The Instagram for 11 to 13-year-olds causes irreparable harm and damage. The fear of missing out leads to higher rates of suicide. So he was talking about that, and Lex was like, but wait, no, unsafe at any speed. He said the numbers are clear. Right. It's making... So he said...
Did Lex bring up love?
What about love? Well,
What about it?
does he do
I
that?
don't know, Lex.
Does he do
What
that
about
in,
love?
Does he do that in every
He
episode?
talks about love all the time.
It's cute. It's pretty adorable.
I think social media is an engine for love.
But he says-
Mark Zuckerberg's like, what? Love?
Yeah, I think so. I think Haidt is a sociologist or some sociologist studying these things and the repercussions of social media. He's been on a crusade about it because he's talking about from 16 and below. At that age, it's he said unsafe at any speed.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, and I said, whoa, that like scared me. I was
Yeah.
like, my God. He's like, it's doing much more harm and it's causing a lot of these. I would love to see him and Gary Vee have a conversation because Gary Vee is the most optimistic human being. There is nothing wrong with social media. It can't do any bad, and like it's all unfalsifiable. It's like if you're 9 years old now, you have a community of people that you can play video games with. Like too many people. He's constantly saying it's a generational thing. You don't understand it. But Haidt is very, very intelligent, very smart, well researched. So I wonder if he sat down with suicide statistics with Gary. And what would Gary say?
I would love to watch that video.
I would love
to watch. I've been watching more Gary Vee content because it's great, and I've been actually like following him now.
Okay.
I have to say, I think I'm even less sold on him than I was before. There's something weird. This whole empathy gratitude thing that you make fun of so well. There's something real strange about it. It just is. It's a kind of fucking weird thing.
Yeah, because of cynicism and being jaded and nihilism.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So why is it weird?
It's a weird like there's something strange about going around being like my message is gratitude and empathy. It's like it's I don't know. I'm not cynical about it. I'm like a religious person, and that those are like the things I think about often. I pray 3 times a day and have a moment of gratitude. Like I'm not at all like against his message.
You do?
But him like evangelizing it at the speed and frequency and intensity he's doing it, just all the bells in my head go off of like all right, dude.
He just put out a video.
I don't know.
He just put out a video saying how like, you're too optimistic. It's like, what is this? And he's like, you're trying to impose your optimism on me. And he's like, you're trying to impose your negativity on me.
Yeah. No, well, it's he has the perfect cycle of like you can't disagree with him because then you're the opposite of his message. It's
unfalsifiable.
Like, yeah. Is that what that's a great word.
But keep in mind, if you followed the content, it used to be a lot more harsh and
that's what makes it even stranger.
But it was the same thing. Same coin.
I know, that's why
it used to be
strange.
Stop complaining.
I like that so much better.
Don't be like, it was about winners and losers. Losers complain. Losers aren't grateful. Losers don't have perspective. It's the same thing, but the angle was a lot more aggressive. And now it's just morphed a little bit, I guess. Maybe he's got a little older, had a little bit, like met different kinds of people. And he's more on this super hyper positivity kick.
And I seeing him in person, I don't think he's a bad person, but
you don't think he's disingenuous, but you don't find
I
it so
don't think
digestible.
I think he's like a mensch. I think like I would let my sister date him or whatever. Like I think he's a good person. But I'm saying like if you take a step back and just like look at his TikTok profile from 20 feet away, you're just like, this is fucking weird. like 20 videos about gratitude from like this dude. Like this is just strange, man.
Well,
I don't know.
In a culture where we spend an awful lot of time complaining, feeling entitled, feeling like we're owed something, not focusing on what we have and only focusing on what we don't have, there's a lot of elements in the culture that stress getting more, achievement, and with that, paired with that, is not feeling satisfied and fulfilled. So maybe a lot of that content is sort of answering that. It's like, no, I want to shift the focus for people to focus on the things they do have perspective. I'm obviously making that case, but I'm just saying maybe it's weird because our natural default is to be maybe a little more pessimistic or focus on those things. It's like a medrash, you give an example and you tell an exaggerated version of reality in order to really get something resonant across.
I don't think it's weird. I just think it's weird.
I guess weird is a vague word.
Like, history is like just dotted with people who have done things like this that ended up like in weird places.
Oh,
that's why I think that's really why I think it's weird. Maybe he's different.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it other than none of it's false.
True.
That's the thing. I can't find anything Like, that rings false to me.
Yeah.
Should you be grateful? Sure. Should you have perspective? Yes. Should you be
Right.
empathetic?
Yeah.
Yes. This whole this whole idea of sitting back and having these expectations for things that should just happen to you without hard work. Like, these are good messages, I think.
Yeah.
But you're talking about,
if
like,
I
I
met
guess,
him in person, he would like charm my pants off. Like I would like so quickly change my tune.
I hear that. No, I'm not making the unapologetic case for it. I sort of get where, like I said, I wanted to sit down with Jonathan Haidt and like talk about this.
Yeah, I would
like,
really
I wanted
like to
to be
see
put
that.
to the fire a little bit. Like, great messages. I understand all that.
Yeah.
Good case. Like, when he talks about how 13-year-olds who were once very alone in elementary school, 12-year-olds who had no friends, no social circles, now have this amazing opportunity to expand to a network of people online that they never had before. In the 90s, we were fucked. If we were in a school, we were totally screwed, because if you didn't have your social circle, you had no means to find anybody out there. And now these comic book kids can find a whole community, even if it's digital, because that's a good case. And now I want a good counter argument to that, because there is one. It's like the where there seems to be a blind eye is the dangers of social media, the dangers of all this perpetuating these ideas of hustle culture and grind and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe the argument is like, yes, and I guess some of those kids committed suicide, true, but most of them figured it out and found communities later in life without all the damage of social media. And like, yes, high school is difficult for them, but it's a good trade-off.
That's an
high
interesting
school to not,
yeah, or maybe there were lots of teen suicides we didn't hear about because we're not, now everything is metricified and you can actually see and correlate. Maybe the data's more high resolution now, and before it was more low resolution, but the misery was the same. It was just channeled elsewhere. And like what was going on with teens, like reading 17 magazine and then having a very small social circle and feeling completely isolated.
Right.
And now you have teens, like, it's a double-edged sword, but one edge outweighs the other. It's a fascinating conversation.
I wonder if someone could put that together. That'd be really cool.
I think if someone could arrange that interview, I'll work some channels.
Produce it.
I will say though, if you ever speak badly about Daddy Gary again, I will fucking kick you off the pod. I'm sorry, Gary. In any event, any other things?
Gary's a dear friend.
Any other things to cover? What's going on with you? You going to NFT NYC?
Yeah, I want to. I want to go to that party. I want to. I'm a fan of the Nifty guys. I just want to. I don't know if they'll remember me, but I want to see them again because they're funny.
Well, he's totally, absolutely will. I have to sort of get it down, but are you using steroids?
He's really funny. Nick is really funny on Twitter. Also, everyone should follow him. What is it?
Nifty.
NFT Nick.
NFT Nick, I think.
Yeah, he's really cool. I don't know logistically if I'll be able to get out of the house those days.
All right, I got you on a list.
That's I'm gonna try. I might not be able to. I'm gonna try.
All right.
Are you gonna go?
I'm in LA.
Oh,
it's next week, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to LA next week.
I want to get a ticket from someone who is like broke. And just wants to give me their ticket. Because I want to be in this NFT scene. I'm into it. So I do want to go. But Sarah is taking a well-deserved break, and I am taking care of both children.
Is it an all-day conference kind of thing?
I don't know. I think it's like if I had to guess, I guess it's like VCon, but at different places in the city, and then a lot of like parties throughout the week.
Right. Of people who are perpetually getting broke.
I mean, 80 NFTs like Bored Apes is down 80%. If you had a $500,000,
tell me.
So and these things are priced in Ethereum. Ethereum is down like 60%. So it's that you just like the thing is still worth 20 Ethereum, but 20 Ethereum is worth 60%, 40% of what it was. And then generally people are buying fewer NFTs, so it's also down like an additional 20%. So if you had a Bored Ape 2 months ago, you could have sold it and put a down payment on a house, and now you can't.
A Bored Ape that was worth $500,000 is now worth
like probably closer to like high 100,000s.
Sounds like a lot, but that hurts. That's a lot less.
Not bad, but yeah, it's a lot. It's. Does
this mean it's time to buy?
Yeah, if you have extra money, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to buy. If I had extra money, I would be buying Ethereum right now. It's almost under $1,000
for a single Ethereum.
Yeah,
it's under 1,000.
Yeah.
What was it at a high? 6?
I think it was close to 6,000. think it was close to 6,000.
Wow.
Perhaps 5,000, but I think 6,000. And I think in 2 years it'll get back there.
Right.
And Ethereum's doing this special thing, technically, that's going to make it a lot more valuable.
Right.
That's happening like this summer. We're going to be back here, God willing, by episode 200. We'll track the price of ETH.
I remember when ETH was like a couple of hundred, and I'm like, that's too expensive.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't do it.
Well, you don't have to spend 1,000. You can spend a couple hundred. And
Yeah, I know.
and
I just
get
made a time. A
fraction.
single one was worth like
Yeah.
$400, and you were just like, nah, I can't buy more. I can't buy that. That's too
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
And it's all a game, though. It's
gambling. It's
Oh, it's gambling. I saw this funny TikTok because I see a lot of TikTok. I saw this TikTok of a guy, like a billionaire who sold his company, like a legit billionaire who made something real and sold it. They're like, "Do you own any Bitcoin?" He was like, "No, nothing against Bitcoin. It's just like I would rather own rental properties and things like that have assets of people that pay me cash and are creating things that are real in this world."
Yeah. It's a good argument.
Yeah.
No, a friend of mine put all of his money into and he's like, I bought monkeys instead of real estate. He bought apes.
Oh my God.
And
Really?
like real money. And now it's just down. It'll rebound.
Yeah.
It's not like, I was making the argument, like, it's not like buying a car. Like, because that's like the money is just literally down the drain.
Yeah, I guess.
Or clothing. Like, it will rebound in some capacity.
I guess I just don't understand when people say like I'm a believer in the tech overall, but this idea of like, wow, what Mini Mites is doing is so innovative, and what Bored Apes has done is super creative. I'm like, what have they? What? Somebody tell me.
All that is down the drain. All that's down the drain.
How's VFriends doing?
Well,
that's ETH too, right? So the value all goes
down 60% plus probably a little bit. I would buy. Maybe that's what I'll buy.
Get yourself a little VFriend.
A VFriend
after all
series
that
too.
trash talk.
I'm telling you.
I know.
With all this, I think he's a genius.
Yes,
who
Get yourself a little VFriend.
Yeah. Who he should marry my sister.
Okay. we'll make it happen. Anything else close? How's the newsletter this week, Michael?
Thanks for asking. How was it this week? I forgot to do it. Did you read it? You didn't open it up.
I did, yeah.
Did you?
The Louis C.K. bits, the aggregators of you aggregated a couple things. Was that this past week? That's
yeah,
the one I
you
read.
did see it. Yeah,
That's the
cool.
movie we want to go to.
Yeah. Oh, so you saw it?
Yeah.
Cool. Did you read the story?
Yes, I believe so.
Really?
Remind me.
Interesting.
Was it an original story? No, you made something up.
Yeah. What was it? It was.
You tell me, because I definitely remember. And then I watched the.
I actually can't remember what the story was. Last week was Choose the Noodle. 2 weeks ago. This one was, I forgot what it was, but I wrote it. I wrote it Sunday night. All right, edited it. It was an old story.
It's all fictionalized made upness, right?
Yeah, it's TikTok version of short story. Okay. It's very quick, very weird. Where you're like, I think okay, this is fun. That's what it is.
I skimmed it.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I didn't say that. I watched
that's the newsletter.
But you wrote something about the Louis C.K. movie coming out?
Yeah, and then so I do the story and then these 2 pieces. Well, that's why I do it. So someone like you would open it, even if you don't want to really read the story.
I may have been skimming the story and I skimmed down to that.
If you had not known about the movie, that would have been really interesting to you.
The movie?
Yeah. If I hadn't told you about it, then you've been like, oh, wow, Louis C.K. has a movie coming out.
Yeah. When is that, by the way? We're going to go? Do we have to get tickets?
Yeah, we have to get tickets.
It's Louis C.K. and who's the actor?
And Joe List. I don't know who that is.
I've seen him at Comedy Cellar and stuff. He's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I know the name.
And I saw him one of these nights at a line. He was pretty good. It was interesting. But then like his special started doing really well on Netflix. So he's had he's been having a moment where he said kind of his specials are doing well. And he has a really interesting style. He talks like this. Like my wife is nice. My wife is nice. She lets me make out with her. And that's kind of cool. I don't know. She shows me her boobs and like, that's nice. Like she'll just do it. Be like, hey, if I had that, I think I would be nice. I think if I had boobs, I'd show people. I think if I had boobs, if I was at the bank, I'd be like, hey, have a bad day? There it is. I think I would be good about it. I would be nice, right? No. He's like this. He's got a funny comedic personality.
He's like...
I would be nice. Like if I had them, I think I'd just show a guy. If I saw the bank and he saw that he was miserable, I'd be like, hey, have a bad day? Here you go. Take a look.
He's like a Nebi Goyish Jew.
I like that. A Nebi Goyish Jew.
Yeah.
That's a good it's name for a special. Nebi Goyish Jew.
It is a good. Goyish Jew is also good.
I like that.
All right. Anyway, the newsletter did how it usually does. I didn't get any new subscribers out this week.
It's not about that, Michael. Stay consistent. Stay persistent until you burn out and hate yourself.
Yeah, but I did. I got it out. Mostly, you know what I was thinking, actually? It was Sunday night. Why can't I remember anything that happened on Sunday? I don't know. And I remembered, oh my God, I didn't put the newsletter together. And then I thought to myself, this is the first week Ami's going to get it. I have to. I was like, I don't even know if he's going to open it, but I can't miss a week.
After giving me all that shit.
Explain that to Ami. Yeah. So I got it out. It was all right. It was good.
Oh, I put this pressure on you.
No, in a good way.
I'm glad I read it.
In a good way.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't read it. It probably went to your promotions tab.
Yeah, no, I don't have that divided that way. Everything goes to inbox.
And it's not, meaning it's not like your cup of tea. I wouldn't be shocked if you didn't open it. But that's the challenge. How do I get people to open it?
It is reading, after all. That is episode 33. Thanks for watching, folks. Pay us.
Pay us money.
Stay consistent. Stay persistent until you burn out and hate yourself.
He is an Apple product.
So do it. Like, the answer is do it.
A Nebi Goyish Jew.